Good evening, sir.
So good evening, everybody. Let us
Good evening,
discuss.
sir.
Good evening. Let us discuss the last unit, the fever. Fever is a common disease with all categories of children during childhood period. As I have told you, infant, early childhood period, and a late childhood period. That the child is affected by fever. The normal temperature of the body is 90 degree 0.4 6 Fahrenheit, 98.6 Fahrenheit, or 37 degrees centigrade. We convert into centigrade. So we have to measure the temperature of the body with the help of the thermometer. The digital thermometer is available. All should have or should keep the digital thermometer with them. Not only for the children, but for the adults. At any time, we may be affected by the fever. So when the temperature is more than 98.6 Fahrenheit or 37 degrees centigrade, so you feel feverish. That is slight rising up to 100. You will not feel much say discomfort or uncomfort when up to 100 degree Fahrenheit. When it exceeds 101 or 102 or 103, we also apply the paracetamol. And as I was telling, too much paracetamol in a day is not advisable. The dose according to the advice of the physicians, we have to give paracetamol. So, when there is a fever, about 10 degree Fahrenheit, 102 Fahrenheit, degree Fahrenheit. So, what happens? There is a trembling of the body, our feet will be found, and the legs and the hands become stiff. So the parents are very much worried when such type of symptoms are found due to the increase of temperature. So due to increase of temperature, what do we do? That we apply the wet clothes on the forehead so that the temperature may be reduced. And you are very much aware of the various types of the paracetamols and the uh, antibiotics. And so during fever, the child is not interested to take food, so he is feeling uneasy, and there is a discomfort rather. So as I have told you, that is during the fever also there will be fits or trembling of the various parts of the body, and due to fever, some fevers are chronic or rather continues for longer period, and some are temporary, and that is for 4 to 5 days. For example, the your the very common fever. The common fever is the uh, mm, that viral fever. Viral fever is the common fever with the children as well as with the adults. It remains at least 4 to 5 days. Even if you apply the medicines, it remains up to 4 to 5 days. After 5 days, gradually uh, the disease, the temperature will fall and the child becomes normal. And due to the viral fever, what you see, when there is a severe viral fever, as I was telling, there is a pain in the throat, there is some uh, kind of swearing, and also there is some symptoms in the tongue. So that's why the child is not able to take the food. The viral fever, and as I have told you yesterday, that how to apply this spray to make it that particular portion senseless so that he can take the food very easily. And due to infection also, there is a fever. If there is a wound, there is a pain in the throat or some kind of a disease in the throat or mouth, also the temperature is increased. Suppose there is a wound in your body and it takes so much of time to heal. So also there is a rise of temperature. And particularly those who are suffering from diabetes, blood sugar is more than after food 120 and before food more than 100. So we say that he is suffering from blood sugar. Due to blood sugar, also there is also kind of fever that we can experience not only with the children but with the adults. So in that case, also we have to the take care of the child, and also you have to resolve resolution of the fever. How to fever will go away. The common causes for fever. One is a viral infection. I have told you. Then, when the fever is there in the body of the child, because I have told you that he has less immunity power, as a result of which they are when they are exposed to the various places. Also, fever due to the mosquitoes, malaria, filaria, and also the dengue, the most dangerous, and also the waterborne disease that is that fever continues for longer period. So immediately when there is a prolonged fever in the body, we have to test the blood, the malaria, and also dengue. Now dengue, we are prone to the dengue fever. Dengue is a very very dangerous disease. It attacks kidney, heart, lungs, three parts, and it paralyzes all these three internal organs. As a result of which, there is a uh, brain stroke, and the patient dies due to dengue, severe dengue. So, from the very beginning, if you neglect and don't wait for many days, after maximum 2 days, you have to test the blood. All sorts of the tests, clinical tests should be done, and that must be accurate. If it is negative, then no problem. If it is positive, then accordingly you have to go to the physician for the proper treatment. What kind of paracetamol the child should take, and what kind of antibiotics the child should take. Then during the fever, on the other last day, I was telling there is the loss of fluid. So the child should be allowed to take the water or water like substances which is free from the various infections, and the pure water, and the body and his dress must be very clean. During in a family, when one is affected by the viral fever, all the children are affected by the viral fever. You must have noticed that once a baby is affected or a child is affected by the viral fever, it will spread to all the children. So accordingly, we have to take preventive measures. We should not rather isolate the baby, isolate the child, and take proper treatment. And also food, during food, some have the prejudice that no food should be taken during the fever. No, feed the fever patient. So maybe less amount of food or more amount of food does not matter according to the age group. We have to provide him food. We should not allow him to the dehydration. The purpose of taking fluids or water, that is to maintain the proportionate water in the body. So there should be no dehydration. Once dehydration will be in the body, so there will be problem. That's a food and the fluids. The two things are important, and at times what happens, the mouth may be dry and the lips may be crusted. So you have to wash the mouth, and if possible, the whole body should be uh, a sponging. Sponging is necessary if the high temperature is there. We apply the sponging. Just wet the clothes and warm rather clothes or cold clothes, and just uh, throughout the body we have to apply it. That is, sponging is must, and every day he must be clean and sponging. And as I have told you, that the clothes must be very comfortable and suitable for the baby. He likes the soft clothes, not the hard clothes. The baby likes or the child likes the soft clothes. And the medicine is a must. As I have told you that you have to go to the uh, physicians and take medicine. Then safety and first aid. Safety and first aid is the in every school, every home, you should have first aid box, cotton, gauze, and the betadine ointment, and the other uh, things are should be made available, because the child is very much interested to play, because that is play age. When he plays, what happens? He may fall down. When he falls down, there will be injury. So if there will be injury, so immediately we have to clean that part and apply the betadine ointment or other things which has a healing effect. Uh, Besides that, other medicines are there, liquid in the ointments. We have to take it. So then, from the because we have to always safeguard the child in the safety environment. Suppose there are the staircases. The child likes to climb up the staircases and also uh, coming down from the staircases. While going down and going up and down, what happens? There is every possibility of he may fall down. So while he is falling down, there will be injury. So the mother is very much careful that such type of incident should not happen. And at times, what happens in the bed also, the child immediately in the night falls to the ground. So for that reason, near the bed there must be a what is called a bed cover, bed sheet, or other soft beds are to be spread, so that if he falls down, then he will be fall on the soft bed, and there will be no so much of a problem for the child. So we must prevent the physical injury and accidents. At times also the child also rides bicycle, there is injury, and when there is an injury, immediately toxoid should be taken immediately. Otherwise, there will be might be infection. So the toxoid should be applied, and the child we must take. We must be in a safe position. So never leave the babies and toddlers alone. House to play center. Keep all dangerous tools point like the what happens. The child is very much interested to play with the knives, sharp knives, and he who cuts his own hand and etc. So there is all these things we have to take care of. Prevent children from going from near fire and cooking area. The child not consciously but unconsciously holds the fire. So there is a burn. So such type of incident that takes also if there is a large container, it is heated, and don't allow the child to touch or hold the hot container. If he holds the hot container, what happens? There will be some wound on the fingers or the hands of the baby. So all sorts of care should be taken. At times, what happens when the child plays on the hard ground, hard soil? If he falls down, if there is a what you call uh, head injury, so the child becomes unconscious. So immediately he should be taken to the hospital. When there will be head injury, there is a clotting of blood, etc., and he becomes senseless, and so on. So we must be very very careful about these things. There is a burn is every possibility of a burn, either holding the fire or holding the hot utensils of this kind. When there is a burn, immediately you have to apply the ice. If it is a severe form, you must have read from the newspaper and also witnessed TV, watch TV. There's 80% burn, 60% burn, 30% burn, 40% burn, 80, 90% burn. So those who have 90 or 80% burn, there is a less possibility of their survival. If it is below 50%, then he has to be taken care of, and he must be admitted in the burn unit in the hospital. There, the proper treatment is taken, and if possible, after the cure, there is a plastic surgery in the burn unit, so that the original face or original hand will be uh, again regained, and the baby will be feel better. Suppose there is one bruises. What happens if there is some what you call the hand or legs are uh, just the is uh, you call it due to the hard uh, objects, due to hard objects, uh, and if it is just hit, suppose a ball is hitting up the ball on the your uh, the leg or the hand, and that portion becomes immediately becomes bluish and blackish. That is called bruises because the blood is clotted there. So immediately what happens that we have to apply the uh, ice. And also if there is a pain, that for that reason we have to uh, take antibiotics, so that the accumulation of blood uh, below the skin will be melted, and there will be no such sign. Then another thing is, so always clean the cut with sterile water that is available, and dress and antiseptic cream and a bandage it firmly. So I have told you that the first aid box should be available in every house or home. If such type of uh, incident occurs, might be with the uh, children or the adults. Sometimes what happens that in the bathroom is slippery always because of the tile. It's very smooth, and due to the slippery bathroom, the child falls down. Adults also falls down, and when the brain uh, is uh, just on the hit on the ground, so at times he becomes senseless and dies. So it happens with the old people. So very carefully, while going to the bathroom or allowing the child to the bathroom, the mother and the elder family should accompany him, and that's why in the bathroom there is a rough tile should be used, not a slippery tile. In the rough tile, there is no slippery, and there is less possibility of injury. As far as possible, if you take bath under the tap outside, there is no slippery. So such kind of the cuts or the wounds and the bruises जो घसी ହେଇଗଲେ ଯୋଉ ଜଣା ପଡେନି କିନ୍ତୁ ସେଟା ନୀଳ ହେଇଯାଏ ତାପରେ ଆସ୍ତେ ଆସ୍ତେ ବ୍ଲାକିଶ ହେଇଯାଏ ସେ ଭିତରଟା ସେଟାକୁ ବ୍ରୁସିସ୍ କହନ୍ତି ତାକୁ ଆମେ ଆପ୍ଲାଏ କରିବା ଇଏରେ ଆଇସ୍ ଦେଇକି ଦେଖିବା ତାପରେ ଆଇସ୍ ଦେଇକି ଦେଖିଲେ ସେ ଅଟୋମେଟିକ ଚାଲିଯିବା କଥା ଆଇସ୍ ଦେଲେ ଆସ୍ତେ ଆସ୍ତେ ଘଷିଲେ ସେ ଚାଲିଯାଏ and when one falls down and hits the ground or any hard object you will see uh, there is swelling immediately there is swelling so when there is a swelling immediately you apply the ice if you rub the ice uh, frequently on the swelling places automatically that uh, the blood clot will be removed or dissolved rather and there will be no pain at all then another accident is fracture very common disease very common thing is fracture when the child plays and falls on the ground there is a fracture in the hand or the leg so for the fracture we have to go to the physician and there will be x-ray and there will be bandage plastering there will be plastering for depending on the severeness of the fracture for 21 days or more than 21 days at the same time the calcium tablets are taken so and that must be uh, you have to bandage that particular place tightly at times after the plastering uh, there is you see the page 258 how the how the bandages are done at the supporting lower limbs or any places and also there is a electric shock there are certain points the boards are there are holes in the certain electric points the child immediately he puts any good conductor in the hole then there will be electric current flows in the body so immediately that should he should try to rescue the child not holding him but with the dry clothes with the non-conductor we have to remove the child immediately and if there is a electric shock severe immediately we have to take to the hospital then poisoning so at times what happens at home I have told you that it happens in the uh, farmer's house they keep the various pesticides and also to protect the food the crops so the pesticides the child if he is under stress he takes the pesticides and he becomes so that is poisoning so for the poisoning immediately you have to take the hospital and there must be they apply the and for vomiting and saline they applied so don't delay if the severe poisoning is there then there is a less possibility of survival then the bites dog bites, snake bites, man bites. So for the biting by anybody, biting by anybody to the child, so that is a poison. Snake bite immediately within half an hour, we have take the hospital and anti-venom injection is to be applied so that he can survive. Otherwise, if you can delay it, then there is less possibility of survival. And there are street dogs. They also bite. When they bite, that there will be problem, and immediately we have to take to the hospital. So injection is to be applied. There are costly injections are there where 1 week injection is sufficient for at the interval, and he will be uh, cured up. Then foreign bodies, like you are the one disease that is in Sundargarh, one poisonous the germ that bites and it becomes serious, and some people die out of that. So at times also the honeybee also bites, and we have to take to the hospital, and proper treatment should be there. So the foreign bodies like stones, sticks, and other things, if it injures, so at times the foreign bodies enters to the body and it becomes infected the particular part, and the child is affected by fever. ଆମେ କଣ୍ଟାଟେ ପଶିଲା ତାକୁ ଆସ୍ତେ କଣ କରେ, ସୁଞ୍ଚିରେ ବା କୌଣସି ଷ୍ଟାଇଲରେ ତାକୁ ବାହାର କରିବାକୁ ଚେଷ୍ଟା କରେ। ତା ସାଙ୍ଗେ ସାଙ୍ଗେ ଟକ୍ସଏଡ୍ ନେବାକୁ ବାଧ୍ୟ। ଆମେ ସିନା ବାହାର କରିଦେବା ସେଟାକୁ ପଚି ମାନେ ଇନଫେକ୍ସନ ହବା ପାଇଁ, କିନ୍ତୁ ଟକ୍ସଏଡ୍ ନବ। ଟକ୍ସଏଡ୍ ନେଲେ ଆଉ that is preventive measures for the baby. Then drowsiness, and another is drowning. Many children, they do not know how to swim in the river or ponds, and they die. So don't allow the child, those who are not have not learned swimming, to the riverside or the pond side. So if you allow the child to take bath there, so there is every possibility of drowning, and there is every possibility of death. So precaution should be met. Then the drowsiness. At times what happens, there is some, you feel drowsiness because there is severe cold and etc. You take some medicines, aspirin or others, so it causes some kind of drowsiness. The drowsiness will for temporary period, But if you feel that for no cause the child is feeling drowsiness always, so we have to go to the physician because of the it is a neural problem, drowsiness. So the child also complained there is a headache, the migraine headache. It is a severe pain, uh, and due to the migraine headache, also we take the painkillers. But too much painkillers, yours it is harmful for the kidney. But we take the painkillers because to release the pain and relax ourselves from headache or severe headache that is there. So I've told you drowning that then this is all about your the two blocks, and there are practical manuals and there are pictures in the practical manuals. You will see it. The charts are there, the figures are there, and how much uh, different kinds of foods are to be taken at different ages according to the age, so that there will be no problem. So now your two blocks are completed. Thank you very much for the last few days for patient hearing. Now I close this session.